Bob Bauer representing Milex Mr. Transmission. He wanted to get the hat. I think the hat looks great.
It's important to look great.
I'm glad you took the extra moment to grab the hat. So the reason we're out here this morning with, can I mention this, Kathy? This is your vehicle. We needed a vehicle for the segment. We're borrowing Kathy Marshall's. This is to talk about what we need to do to make sure our car is ready to go on the road to make these summer road trips. A lot of people thinking that way starting next weekend, of course. So Bob, what are some of the things that the everyday persons, even those who are not familiar with what's going on under the hood at all, can do to help themselves get ready for those road trips?
Yeah, let me run through some of that.
Okay.
To start with, what you want to look at is your cooling system. That's one of the leading reasons vehicles fail on the road, is they overheat.
I've heard of the cooling system. If you say go check your cooling system, I wouldn't know where to start.
So what you want to look for is where your reservoir is, your cooling reservoir is, and see where the level of that is. Now, I don't know this vehicle. It looks like it's right here. And you just want to make sure you can take a flashlight and ensure that it's at the right level. If you've got any concerns about that, you can bring it in and have it pressure checked to make sure your cooling system's got the right fluid, the right level of fluid in it.
I wouldn't feel bad about not knowing this vehicle because obviously it's not yours. It's Kathy Marshall's vehicle, and she literally told me she does not know how to pop the hood. Bob had to pop the hood and show her how that was done. So you've already helped Kathy a bunch by figuring that part out. What about the other fluids?
The other fluids are critical. So obviously your engine oil, you want to change that every 4,000 to 5,000 miles. Your transmission fluid is something that's often overlooked. We at Milex Mr. Transmission recommend 40 to 50,000 miles to change your transmission. And that's critical. It overheats, causes problems, and you literally can lose your transmission if you do not take care of it.
I always think, Bob, that brakes and tires are like the two most important things. And not to say that that's right, but that's always been in my head. But when you say, hey, check your brakes, see how they're doing, I wouldn't really know how to check my brakes.
Yeah, it's difficult for someone to just check their brakes on their own. You have to take it into a shop. They want to put it on a lift, and you actually want to remove the tires to look at it. You want to look at how much pad you have left and what the condition of the rotors are. Looking at your tires, you can look at those visually outside, see if there's any scoring on the outside, and you can also check the tread simply by putting a penny in there and kind of looking at how much tread you've got left. So this
Kathy Marshall's tread. Let's give her a grade.
It's okay. It's fine.
I was hoping you'd say, man, what is this woman waiting for?
The other thing I would mention, the other thing I would mention is your AC system. That's a closed system. It's got Freon and oil in it. And what's important there is you've got to make sure that it is fully charged. If it starts to deplete, your oil loses its ability to lubricate the compressor. And the compressor can go out, you can be on the road, and you can lose your AC system. Another good thing to do is to change your cabin air filter, which is different than your engine air filter. That's the intake for your AC system. So it allows enough air to go through so that you get proper cooling in your cabin.
So if I got my air filter checked or even replaced, that's not necessarily the air filter you were just talking about.
No, there's two different air filters. One's an air filter for the intake of the engine, commonly referred to as the air filter, and then there's a cabin air filter, which is quite often behind the dash in the vehicle.
I mean, I've changed the air filter, the traditional air filter in my car before, but it would probably be difficult for me in most vehicles to get to that myself without being able to get it up.
Exactly. This is where your air filter will be found for your engine, and that's always a good thing to change before a trip. You want to look at your wipers before trips. You want to look at your headlights, your tail lights, your turn signals. All those are really important things to check off.
Bob Bauer, some very helpful advice. Again, Bob representing Milex Mr. Transmission. He came down here from Wilsonville today,
Exactly.
Correct?
That's where we're located. Love to be able to help you out. We're a full-service shop.
How about a traffic report before you leave? From Wilsonville to downtown Portland.
It wasn't bad coming here.
There you go. You guys,
right.
full service. Bob Bauer, thank you so much.